Thank you for tuning in to Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick Greeno, and this is my buddy, Dan G. Hey, Dan.
How's it going, Pat?
Going well. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Awesome. So tell us, Dan, what'd you bring today?
So I was thinking of you when I got this, and then it kind of made sense with the timing because we're into March now, and St. Patrick's Day is right around the corner. So what I brought was a 97-98 Pinnacle Inside Hockey Dominik Hasek Executive Collection parallel.
Okay.
Right. So this is, one of those big ones out of the product. Not sure how it compared to baseball that same year.
Right.
But it's pretty rare.
Sure.
I think the executive collection cards were one in every between like 55 or 60 cans.
Really?
Because I think you remember that product came in a can and you had a little can opener and you'd open it up.
Such a fan of that stuff. It's so rad.
Yeah. And the prismatic foil makes it really cool.
Truly.
And so it's Dominik Hasek, the goaltender at the time for the Buffalo Sabres. And he's putting on his little St. Patrick's Day hat.
That's awesome.
Interesting.
I love it.
Picture there.
So this is cool because this is the akin to in the baseball market, the 97, actually it would be akin to 98 Pinnacle Inside Diamond Edition.
Right.
Okay, with that same kind of like hollow foil matrix background.
Right.
Really cool stuff. Extremely rare. A lot of collectability.
Right.
And now, is this particular player, is he one of the bigger cards in the set?
He's a pretty good card to
Okay.
pull. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say he's number one. I mean, of course, the great one is always the one you want, is the Gretzky, right? But, he was a pretty big guy back in the day. He still has a pretty strong fan base and following. I know there's a lot of player collectors out there. Wouldn't be surprised if people really want this card because it's pretty tough pull. This has that foil front, so condition is always an issue. This one it's in decent condition, and it's one that I've thought about getting graded. Just to have it slabbed, so there's no chance of anything else. Not that I would care if it was a 6 or a 7 or an 8. Just so that it's in that slab and looking nice.
So a couple questions. Did you actively look for this card before you acquired it?
No, it came in a collection that I purchased.
The one from like 12?
Yeah, from years ago. Yeah.
Wow.
And there were a lot of rare parallels that were in there. Different players, and I'll bring a few more in it.
Sure. I know you did really well with that collection. I remember when you bought it, and I was like kind of blown away by the yield of high quality pieces in that collection that weren't selling without you buying the collection.
Right.
Just sitting.
They were just sitting, and what's interesting is, this probably had a $25 price tag.
Yeah.
But I would never let it go for that.
Okay.
Ever.
What do you think it would sell for in the present market?
I honestly don't know, but I know that they're hard to find. I know that they're hard to pull, and I bet if I listed it for $25, it would go fast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You think you can double that?
It might be possible.
Okay. So, another thing about the Pinnacle Inside, because of the uniqueness of the product and the fact that players were featured on the actual can itself, the collectability of the can unopened is great.
Oh, yeah, I have a McGuire.
So, I have Thomas. So, in 97 and 98, you could find a variety of different cans with featuring different players. And the stuff, because a lot of this wasn't open for that reason, people just wanted to keep them intact. A lot of this stuff didn't actually make it into the market.
Oh, yeah,
or hasn't yet made it into the market in that way. I have a bunch of unopened cans myself, and who knows what's inside. I'm never going to open them because I already have the stuff I want.
Right.
But the 97 product for baseball had the rigid, almost sawmill edges on both sides. And because, the open rate for that product is quite a bit lower than your common pack issued stuff. People are left looking for their Diamond Edition parallel for their player, and some fellas wait years and years. Some fellas are still waiting to find their player's Diamond Edition. In 98, I feel like because it's the sophomore year of Pinnacle Inside, the collectability is still strong. But I've noticed that the collectability of 97 opposed to 98 has consistently drawn out into, I guess, a little bit stronger over the years.
Right.
And I think people desire the sawmill edges of 97. Now the 98 I like too because I like that background hollow foil matrix thing happening, that cloud matrix thing. Really cool stuff, and I like that they brought it into the hockey market.
Right.
You know, because I never bought the hockey stuff, so I wasn't into who was hot in the 97 and 98 products for other sports, but I really appreciate this type of stuff, and I think it's very fitting that you brought this over, seeing as St. Patrick's Day is sort of around the corner.
Right around the corner.
So definitely good, smart thinking. Great stuff, man. I'm glad you brought that. I don't know what the a couple things offhand is. I don't know what the print run is on these. I don't know if there's. I don't even know if it's stated.
Yeah.
But if they're, you think the insertion ratio is pretty firm on the 1 in 55?
It's between 55 and 60.
It's that high.
I'm almost certain, at least on this one.
Right. It would take a lot of work to acquire a pull of any one card in this set. It would be exhausting.
I can't remember, but didn't the boxes come in like packs of 24?
Yeah, they were like Costco bricks, like cellophane type thing over the top. It was like thick plastic shield that went over the whole pack, like you would buy in bulk.
So then that would mean that if it was 55, you would have to open three boxes
Cases of them.
To get one, of the parallels.
Yeah, I mean that's certainly feasible. It's hard to. I mean that's a lot of work to get one of these.
Yeah.
And cranking the
Yeah.
Because funny, the Pinnacle Inside was a cool product because in the baseball market, they actually offered a collector's pack that had the sample can and a can opener.
Yeah.
And it was, I think, Ryan Klesko or Javi Lopez. I think it was Ryan Klesko that was on the sample can, at least the sample that I can think of. And they may have made the samples for other players. I can't really confirm. But came in that like generic cardboard box.
Right.
You might remember seeing
I do remember seeing those.
Really cool and interesting stuff. Very unique. I think that Pinnacle was such an innovative company.
Right.
And people often assume that they started in 92. Actually, Pinnacle started in 88 with Score.
Yeah.
And then they had their own branch off in 92. Mm-hmm. So they were around for a solid decade before hanging it up. But man, they were one of the greatest companies in terms of innovation. They just were all about trying new things, and I thought that was so cool.
So I wanted to add, since you brought it up, I think I had seen about a year ago somebody did a box break on YouTube of the 98 Pinnacle baseball, and they're
really cranking
with the cranking of the can opener.
I love it.
Man, he's gonna kill his times.
It's like all in the name of carpal tunnel,
That's
right. Just cranking that. Oh, no diamond edition.
You would think that they would get the electronic can opener after a while, like yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
You'd think that if you crank for 3 cases and you don't get a diamond edition, but you end up with carpal tunnel. That's sort of that's a negative ROI.
Well, maybe it's a badge of honor.
Right. I got carpal tunnel from opening cans at Pinnacle Inside.
How'd you get yours?
Good stuff, man. I'm glad you brought that over. Cool. That's a great piece. So we're gonna move it to baseball. You guys know me for talking about baseball stuff. So I've been working on this like rookie card project of getting like 1 and done or 2 and done of certain players that I like but don't specifically collect.
Right.
And so you might remember back in 07, 08, Alfonso Soriano being really hot. He was a very hot player back then. I remember going through Derek's bargain bin and looking for his cards. And I remember finding one, and it wasn't a rookie, but it was a reprint of one of the rookies. It was like a commemorative, like you look in the back and it has small print, 2008 reprint or something.
Right.
And I was like, sweet. And I bought that, and it wasn't until after I bought it that I realized it was the non-authentic. I didn't care. It was $1.
Yeah.
But since then, I was like, well, I want to get a really good example of Alfonso Soriano's rookie card. So when I was living in LA, I was, casually on eBay for other things outside of the Frank Thomas stuff because I was buying pretty aggressively in Thomas, and every now and then I like to change it up.
Right.
So I acquired this card. This is the 1999. Okay, this is the Topps Gold label. This is class. What is that? Yeah, class 2. So you guys might remember that in '98 they didn't identify the classes. You had to just know that the base gold was the class 1, the silver sparkle was the class 2, and the gold sparkle was the class 3. But and also in addition to knowing those classes designations, which not everybody would be familiar with out of the gate without being understanding that that's the differentiation, is the images in the background. You have a fielding, a running, and a batting. Okay. And you know, each one of those pertain to a class.
Right.
Right. So in 1999, Topps actually followed suit with the cards and actually corrected that blunder by actually including the class number on the back of the card, so that collectors could identify what it is in fact they have.
Right.
Which I thought was very fitting. I think that was a small little judgment error in '98 that was made, because it took me a while growing into this product to really understand, and especially in '98, you know, what was what. And then I actually blogged about it. You might go into Radicards.com and then type in the search bar 1998 Topps Gold Label. I've written an identification blog post about how to identify the classes from 1998. 1999 is not dissimilar from '98 in the fact that each card comes with 3 different colored labels. You got the base, the gold, the black label, and the red label. So gold label, black label, red label, and they're each progressively harder to get. And then you've got the one of ones.
Right.
Right. So you've got 9 of each, because you've got 3 classes and 3 each of those, and you've got 9 of each of those in the one of ones.
Correct.
So that's a lot of work.
Right.
Okay, so this here, the reason why this is significant is because this is actually one of the 9 one of ones for Alfonso Soriano. Okay, this card in 2008 or 7 would have been big money, right? I acquired this, I think I acquired this, I want to say in 2013, 14, right in there, maybe 15. I think somewhere in that block of time. I'd have to research my notes, but whatever, doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that this is one of the one of ones. I really like these cards a lot. You rarely see them for the obvious reason that they're one of ones. Insertion ratio was through the moon, right? It was beyond the moon. It was just crazy to try to pull these. I never bought packs of Topps Gold Label. I don't know, did you ever, Dan?
Occasionally, but I think it was just miscellaneous packs. You know, like 2 here,
okay,
1 there. Yeah, never box or anything. Right. So.
You know, the backs of the one of ones on these, the '99, they're interesting because the back is almost like has like a silver sparkle layer to it that you won't find on any of the base cards from 1999 Topps Gold Label. Base meaning anything that's not a one of one. It could be a red label or a black label or a base gold label. Doesn't really matter. So that's a big differentiator. And of course, the one of one stamp and sort of this like ghosty shadow, almost this white kind of it's not even really an embed. It's just like part of the layer. Really interesting stuff. I really dig this product a lot. I think it was well done. Like I said in a previous video, I really appreciate Topps Gold Label. I think it was an extremely interesting product for what it is, and I love that the fronts are all that classic refractor finish. This was sort of a well, this isn't a high-end product.
It was a high-end product.
Yeah, I don't know what pack makeup, how many cards in the pack. I haven't researched it because I didn't buy any of this stuff. I think it was out of the scope of my budget back then. And you know what? Honestly, I think, yeah, it was. When this product came out, I had been out of the hobby for a year, and so my life was just taking different directions. So I had missed this product altogether. Alfonso Soriano, going back to the player, Soriano had an interesting career. He was very, very productive in the 07-08 years, but he sort of tailed off in productivity, is what happened.
Tapered off.
Yeah. If you're a Yankees fan, this is sort of one of those staple guys to get in the collection, at least something in his. Well, gosh, I guess he was a rookie in 1999. Well, yeah, this is the 1999 rookie, so. He's got all kinds of stuff in those years. Interesting cards, because the 1999 block of years was chock full of all kinds of interesting parallel sets from that year. But this counts as my one Alfonso Soriano rookie card.
Cool.
I certainly think it's qualifiable in terms of one of his best cards. I think so. There might be others I may pick up in the future, but for this at this time, this is the one that certainly fills that hole for, getting an Alfonso Soriano rookie card into my collection. Dan, do you have any thoughts?
No, it's a beautiful card.
Yeah. Do you remember in 07, 08 when his stuff was selling really well?
I do. I remember he was hot for a while.
Yeah.
He was one of the guys you pulled when you got his base cards and set it aside.
Did you pull him?
I remember pulling him. Yeah.
Did you keep him?
I've got him somewhere.
You got it.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. This is my 1999 Topps Gold Label Class 2, 1 of 1, or 1 to 1, however you want to identify with this product. Alfonso Soriano rookie card. All right, Dan, any final thoughts?
No, just have an awesome time and happy St. Patrick's Day.
All right. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you for tuning into Radicards.com. I'm your host, Patrick Bruno. Thank you, Dan, for joining us.
Sure.
And until next time, enjoy collecting.
Take care.
If you like this content, please subscribe. Thank you. Enjoy collecting.